welcome, beautiful people, to It's Been Said. I'm your host, Kat Wade, and Kat is spelled with a K. So excited to be with you this calm, yet kind of coolish evening. You know, we are a weekly radio broadcast where we empower individuals for positive living, because a negative mind will never give you a positive life. We are a safe outlet where guests can share their stories of how they have overcome challenges to live their desired life. Storytelling is awesome, and all of us have a story to tell. Our guests share personal life stories from their lived perspective. Everyone is born into their once-upon-a-lifetime story. We're just looking for our happily ever after. Hello, beautiful people. Pray your day has been a productive one. Mine was, and so was my weekend, to tell you the truth. Happy to be with you on another It's Been Said Magic Monday evening. I want to give a shout out to those persons who tell me as I pass them on the street or share with me from other sources that they listen faithfully to the program and they are enjoying our segments. Truly, it warms my heart to know that there is positivity being experienced by all who listen. Tell everyone to tune in, guys, and let everyone spread this to all of Bermuda. I want to, at this point now, put out a shout out for prayers for the people of Jamaica. Hurricane Melissa is heading their way. And I want to say that as a family, we had the privilege of living there in Jamaica some years ago. And it's a beautiful island. And we can pray and believe that there is a God who will send his protection and safety for all of them at this time. So, prayers for you, Jamaica, and those who be impacted by this hurricane. Well, I'm happy to say that I am not alone in the studio tonight. It's the fourth Monday, and so it is Perspective and Perception with John Luca, my co-host. And he is here, even though it's by way of dialing in from California. So, John Luca, so happy to have you here. Greet the people.
Yes, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. I felt like I was just in Bermuda yesterday.
Yeah, well, it was kind of like yesterday. Yes, it was. Not too long ago. Not too long ago indeed. So thank you for calling in. And we're having a great show, right, Gianluca?
Oh, yeah. No, it's going to be very, very insightful, especially the special guest you got.
Yes, and let me tell you, beautiful people, that we have a gifted and talented young man in the studio with us by the name of Willis Steed. Now, you're a junior, right?
Yes, I'm a junior.
Yes, indeed. No stranger to the mic. And he will share his wisdom as an entrepreneur, a creative artist, and a visionary. Greet the beautiful people for us this evening, Willis.
Yes, good evening, everyone. You know the deal. It's your boy, Will. You may have heard me live on Hot 107.5, Inter-Island Communication, our brother station over there at Hot. But we are here right now on Magic 102.7. And it is a pleasure to be with you all tonight, this evening.
Yes, indeed. Now, see, that's when you hear comfort. Just rolls off his tongue. And we can't wait to hear your story. So he's on the other side of the mic now. He's not hosting. He's not DJing. He's not putting some songs out for you. He is our guest tonight. So stay tuned. And let that friend or family member to also tune into It's Been Said on Magic 102.7 FM. Now, you know what time it is. It's a time for my monologue. And my monologue this evening is entitled Self-Discipline. It's not going to be a long one. I'm going to try to exercise self-discipline. Yeah. One of the most important qualities a person can have is self-discipline. The process starts from birth. Literally. I remember when I had my babies and my mother said that you must teach the baby how to sleep. I said, sleep? Why? So they are not waking you up in the middle of the night unnecessarily. Notice I said unnecessarily. If there's hunger, change of diaper, they're windy, cold, hot. I mean, those are necessities. But to be cuddled or just to see your face? Nah. As the little ones get older, we focus on controlling behavior to avoid temper tantrums, potty training, learning to wait to speak when others are talking. Then to the teen years of helping them to save money, tasking out school assignments, chores, and friend time. However, somehow as we approach adulthood, self-discipline is not so easy to define. As life challenges and situations dictate whether or not we do it or whether we don't do it. We justify speaking our mind, staying up late at night, no regular exercise, eating when and when we want to, delay visiting our health providers, random vacations. I'm not talking about self-control. But guess what? If we don't have self-control, we probably will not have self-discipline. You see, self-control is your ability to keep yourself from doing things you should not. And self-discipline is intentionally practicing the things you should. They go hand in hand. Let me say that again. Self-control is your ability to keep yourself from doing things you should not. And self-discipline is intentionally practicing the things you should. Short story. When I was a residential life manager in the UK, I was in charge of the halls of residence on a small college campus. I was to oversee 100 young people between the ages of 18 to 25. Not an easy task. I also trained the student workers who provided support in the halls of residence. I remember one student who, as they say, really pushed the envelope. He was about 23. We hired him, but he was sleeping on the job, coming in late, not filling out paperwork, etc. I decided to work with him, one by one, one-on-one, with some self-help exercise, as I also discovered his classes were being affected by his lack of self-discipline. Over the next following months, even though my colleagues were not convinced, there was improvement. Not a lot, but some. I wish I could say there was a happy ending at the college. We eventually had to let him go, and he dropped out of college. However, before he left, he came to see me and said, "Thank you, Kat, for the help. And I believe I will be a better person for it." Well, that was some years ago. Recently, I saw on a social media page that he was now a leader and elder within his church community. That to me is a good ending. What were some of the self-helps? Well, one was to set goals using small steps. Remove distractions. He liked video games. Be kind to yourself, as he was prone to depression. And finally, know who he was in light of his understanding of a higher power, God, the great motivator. So, beautiful people, if you are needing encouragement for self-discipline, just look at self-discipline as something like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. So, that's my monologue for tonight, self-discipline. Hope you got something out of it, because let me tell you, when I talk to you, I talk to me too. Okay? All right. So, just for a short minute, our telephone lines are now open, because you know this is a live program, only for a short minute. And I'm wondering, beautiful people, is there anyone who'd like to call and talk about self-discipline? Maybe you'd like to give them a shout out, or maybe you want to share some positive vibes or gratitude. You know our phone lines, 297-1027, or if you're calling from the United States, 1-888-257-9086. That's on Magic 102.7 FM, 297-1027, 1-888-257-9086. Okay, it's your chance to call if you want to talk about self-discipline, or you just want to give a shout out. We got some good positive vibes last week from one of our callers. I don't see anybody calling. Maybe you're still thinking about self-discipline, maybe self-control. That's another thing. You know, you have it or you don't, but that's okay. You can always work on it. Last call, 297-1027 or 1-888-257-9086. I don't see the phones ringing, so guess what? We're now going to begin our show with our special guest, my dear Willis. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah? How was your day today?
My day was pretty long. As I work multiple jobs, so I work at Hot 107.5 and Magic in the morning. I get the news and rather, program for everybody
Sure.
to listen throughout the day. And yeah, we have the daily hour that comes on Hot 107.5 with Mr. Jamal Hartman, Miss Maya Palacio, Teo Deal.
Okay.
And different people that, from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So I'm one of the programmers and engineers for that. And then as soon as I leave there, I go over to Mystiques, where I help people that, need help with technology.
Sure.
Need phone cases.
And I've been there. Yes, indeed. Lovely store.
Yeah, they may need phone cases, screen protectors, camera lens protectors, if you need jackets, we have a variety of stuff in the store. So I would suggest, if you want to see what we have, just come on down and check out Mystique's. It's located right at the Bermuda Arcade, right in between KFC and Mr. Chicken via downstairs.
And if you want to come and see the star of many things, you go and see Willis too, because he is there. He is there. Now, you know, our show, Willis, is perspective and perception. And Gianluca and I would come on every fourth Monday, and we talk about business and branding and relationships. And we're just great that you are probably our first, I think we've had guests before, but our first local guest really on this show. And I want to say congratulations, because you represented Bermuda not too long ago, been to Barbados, right?
Yes.
So what was all that about?
So, and I appreciate you for having me on the show as well. But I went to Barbados to represent Bermuda at the Carrot Festival. It's a cultural diaspora where different cultures from different Caribbean countries come together. They share their culture from where they come from, share their experiences, share the similarities, the differences. And yeah, it's just such a huge event to see so many Caribbean countries come together, and just to see where it's all come, you know, how in the beginning we was all one.
Yes.
And then different people venture out, you know, and then they have their own culture that they experience and their own new beliefs and stuff. But it all comes from the same origin. But to see the similarities between every culture all around the world, I mean, it was amazing to see. So I was honored to represent Bermuda on this aspect. We took an international gumbe group. Big shout out to all the different performers that came from all the different groups, from like the likes of H&H, Places, Gumbe Warriors, my group Gumbe Evolution, and just so many groups. I mean, we did just have the Gumbe Festival as well. So it was nice to see us all come together, and you know, we have the Gumbe Unity group as well.
That's awesome.
It's nice that we are all staying close knit together.
Right, exactly.
And we could represent our country in a beautiful way.
Yeah, you know, I think that Gumbe, I did some reading up on Gumbes before the show, and more so to kind of understand you. And I just didn't understand the culture really of Gumbe and the Gumbe warrior and all the positive things that come out of that. You know, it's not just a dance group. It's far more than that. And we'll talk about that some more when we get into these questions. So, so I'm just going to give people an overview of you before we get into the questions. And Gianluca's going to, you know, sort of jump in here, there, as he sees fit. So, where were you born, Willis?
So, I was born and raised right here in Bermuda.
Okay.
Been here all my life. Haven't been anywhere else. I love my island and my home. Yeah.
Now you're a junior, so your father was Willis Steed Sr. Yeah.
And so he actually was the one that got me into Gumbes. He was one of the captains of the first Gumbe group ever introduced to Bermuda. It was Warner Gumbes, but before it was Warner's, the person that brought Gumbes to Bermuda was Boxcard Norfolk, Mr. Boxcard Norfolk, and he passed it on to Llewellyn Spencer, who then passed it on to June Warner, who then passed it on to and for those who may know Llewellyn Spencer, he goes by Mary Mice as well. But yeah, it went on to June Warner, who then gave it to Alan Warner, who was one of like my father's best friends.
Ooh, nice.
Then passed it on to him, and then he passed his knowledge on to me. Look at
that. So you are part of a legendary consortium, as it were, of men who are passing it down. And like you actually refer to them as the elders.
Yes.
Yeah, and I like that, because that comes with a lot of respect when you use words like that. Now, your primary school was?
West Pembroke Primary.
Okay, and then your middle school was?
Delwood Middle School.
And what was your high school?
The Barclay Institute.
And we have Azai also in the house, wearing his Barclay uniform. Welcome, Azai. He's doing his filming, and you know, it's a great intern, Azai. So, yeah, good to have you. So, Barclay. Now, you finished Barclay. Yeah. And we're going to get more into how you moved after that. Yes, indeed. So, we got some questions for you, Willis. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready. You ready, Gianluca?
Oh yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Okay, so our first topic, and this is what we're going to do, beautiful people. We're going to ask Willis some questions in regards to his career. And this particular set of questions is about entrepreneurial and career path. Okay? So, what was your motivation for building a successful career here in Bermuda rather than pursuing opportunities abroad?
So my biggest motivation for making my career path here in Bermuda was because I wanted to see Bermuda become something more. And it does take a village for us to make that happen. But there are those that don't really have that ambition or that drive, or even if they do have the ambition, they don't have the backbone that can actually help them get to where they need to be. So that was kind of my motivation, to help others that were in a position that I was in. At one point it was hard finding jobs for myself as well. And like the careers that I really wanted to be into, but there were jobs there. So I just wanted to create something for those that couldn't really find something to do, to have something to do, to give them the experience, because that's what it's all about.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times you have a lot of people that go away to school, and it's no discredit to them. They can go to school, but when they come back and when they're put into the field, they're not really ready. They have the knowledge, they know what they're supposed to do, but to see what they're supposed to do, it's a little different.
Okay.
So sometimes experience can be more beneficial as well, and that was what I wanted to create. Because I had various mentors throughout my life. My father, who used to do carpentry, masonry, construction and everything. A lot of people knew him as Mr. Front Street. He used to work for Corporation of Hamilton, but he had a lot of skill sets and trades.
Okay.
Along with Mr. Ken, who took me in for his construction business as well. So he taught me a lot of maintenance and different things. So I feel like I wanted to give that avenue to those that didn't have that platform, but wanted to be interested in doing it. So like with landscaping and different maintenance. So I came up with a job called We'll Fix It. For right now, it's still on the verge of growing. And the reason I say that is because it's not just going to be landscaping and maintenance, but at the same time, it could go anywhere. We'll fix anything, because our slogan is, where there is a will, there is a way.
Look at that.
And we will fix everything. So at some point, right now I'm teaching myself how to fix electronics. I could take it to different appliances. I could even take it to like the world's ours. And I say ours because it's not just mine. The world's yours, the world's his. You can do whatever it is that you set your mind to. And I always have this famous quote that I tell everyone, my kids and my Gumby group, just people that I mentor. It's not that you can't, it's just that you haven't yet. So the world is yours. You can do anything. Nothing is impossible for you to grab. And that's kind of where I started. That was my motivation for this whole career path that I took.
Okay. Gianluca, you want to jump in?
Yeah, no, I think is very interesting, right? Because I always heard coming up, working in like different places, guys were like, yeah, man, if you want to go up, you got to get out of the island, man. You got to get off the rock, because it ain't nothing here for you. So take that opportunity. And that was kind of a mindset of a lot of people, and but like with what Willis is saying, I think there's a lot of opportunity in Bermuda, right? It's just a matter of perspective, right? So I would want to ask Willis, because it wasn't my experience. I left the island, right? At 16 for boarding school. I came back every summer, but I've essentially built my career off island with the intention of continuing maintaining my connections on the island. But for Willis, it's like you've almost become this sort of like, not almost, you've become this serial entrepreneur where you have multiple things that you do on the island and you're still building more. So like what what's the difference of your perspective than those who have the narrative of you got to leave the island to find opportunity, whereas you're saying is like, no, I wanted to stay on the island to show others there's plenty of opportunity. How did you develop that perspective? Is that something that you just got with, or from staying on the island you developed it, or you felt like, well, I got to be here, so let me make the best of it? Like, how did you come to that conclusion?
So it would be more of a little bit of both. Because I do know I do want to stay here in Bermuda because I love my island. It is a paradise. But I do travel as well. And a lot of times, like, I encourage people, see the world. You know, there's opportunities everywhere. But also, those same opportunities that you see away, you can also bring back here. You know, because that's all about development. You have so many different countries that are so far ahead of Bermuda, but there's no saying that you can't do it at home. You know, like for instance, the bus department, they just pulled out an app where you can have you can actually go on your phone now and see where the bus is or what time it's coming. But before, there was something called transit in Canada, and you know, it kind of gave like perspective of, you know, how far ahead different places were when it came to the technology. Right. And, you know, it's great to see that the government actually, you know, implemented the same things that, you know, people were seeing away and are bringing it here to try and keep up with the rest of the world. Right. So it's not to say that you can't make a career here. You can. Right. You know, it's just a matter of, like you say, perspective. But you won't know unless you see. So I encourage people to travel, but also come back. Come back. You know, help out your community, and we can make Bermuda even bigger than other countries. But it all takes that charisma and that determination if you really want to build something there.
You know, I think that kind of moves into my next question. I'm going to word it a little differently, but it says, how did you go about establishing a strong professional network and finding mentors within Bermuda's close-knit business community? Because oftentimes people come back and they say they've been away, and you're saying being here is good, but you know, by the time I've been away, I've lost connections, I don't know anybody, I've got to start all over again. But you never left in the sense of going to school. So how did you establish a strong professional network?
So networking
and finding mentors.
Networking all begins with, you know, keeping a connection with people. So even if you go away, you should still keep in contact with those that are there for you. And that is, I feel like, the mesh that a lot of people don't really, you know, understand. They would rather, you know, use you for the time being. And then if they feel like they don't need you at that time because they're doing something else, but you never know who you're going to need when you're going to need them. So you always got to keep in contact with everyone.
Right. You know, so if you're away to school or if even you're here, just stay
connected. That's the main thing, is staying connected. And I feel like...
How did you do that?
So staying connected. Now we have social media, so that's an easy platform to do it. But back then, they taught me, I learned from young, having a pen pal. I actually still talk to my pen pal from primary school.
Wow.
So connection, I learned connection from a long time ago.
Okay.
That this is the main thing. And even like with the connection that I have with my pen pal, they became a singer. I sing as well now too.
Look at that.
So no, sometimes we collaborate. They would send me music, I would send them music. But if I never stayed in touch with them, I wouldn't even know what they're doing.
Of course.
So this is why I tell people it's always good to keep in contact with everyone that you know.
Right.
You know, it's always good to check on somebody. You know, you never know who's going through what. You never know what they're into. You never know what they're going to do. You never know what the future holds.
Right.
So I encourage everyone. You just never know.
Yeah, I like that. You want to jump in, Gianluca?
Yeah, I have a question. So Bermuda, right? Bermuda is such a tight-knit community.
Yeah.
Right. From your perspective, would you say, what holds more weight in Bermuda? Is it what you know, or is it who you know?
And that is a great question. And most times it's both. They go hand in hand. I mean, because you could know somebody, but not know enough to do what you need to do. So then it's up to you to do the research to know what you need to do in order to help those that do know you. And like it's very important. Research is a very important thing, but so is networking. A lot of times I would say that yes, it's about who you know as well, because that goes a long way. Sometimes we have this stigma here that there's a lot of favoritism in Bermuda.
Nepotism.
Yeah, a lot of nepotism, if that. But a lot of times too, if you really know your craft and really know what you're doing, who can really tell you no?
Yeah.
Especially if you are number one. And that's one of my main things, is always to strive to be the best. You may not always be the best, but I want you to strive to be the best, because you never know what you have to bring to the table.
Right.
You know, so that's one of my main things. It goes hand in hand.
So, Alex, is this an answer you're saying is 50-50?
Yeah, I would say.
Is there a case where one could drive more? And the reason why I ask is, like, sometimes in smaller communities, you will see somebody that's less qualified get play with a business deal,
right,
because of who they knew, right? And then you got the other guy who's working hard, but he hasn't really made the connections. And though he has a better service or maybe better quality product, he's making less or getting less deals than the next one, right?
Right.
Like, how do you see that in the Bermuda market as an entrepreneur?
So in Bermuda, it is coming that networking is one of the top tier things to get you going forward. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people want to see their earn to strive, right? Right. Everybody wants to see, you would rather see your family, strive before somebody that you don't know. But at the same time, too, this is why we have to get away from that little skepticism and just try push for everyone to grow. Because like I said, it takes a village to raise an empire. And I say that because it really does take a village to raise an empire. For my gun base, for instance, I'll give you this perspective. Without all the elders in my group, I wouldn't really have a group. And the reason I say that is because everybody has different aspects to bring. This person may know this person that helps out in a way that pushes my group forward, whether it be getting gigs, whether it be the costumes that we make, whether it be who's good at like drawing or painting, because I can't paint.
Oh, okay, all right, okay.
I have no artistry at all when it comes to like the painting or the drawing, but everybody has a part to play. I'm more of an instrumentalist, so when it comes to my drum line, I sort out my drummers. I sort out what the song should sound like. When it comes to dancers, I have other dancers who are great dancers. I used to dance as well, but a lot of times our elders come together and they would take individuals. If this individual is far behind, then they would put them to the side and really train them up to get them where they should be.
Sure.
And the others that are excelling, we take them beyond the limits.
Okay.
So I feel networking is a great part, but it shouldn't be biased. It should be everybody as a collective.
Yeah, and they should feel that.
Yeah, because the more and more that you have more people to, I guess, work with, rather the family, rather the outsiders, the bigger you could grow.
Of course. You benefit from that.
Yeah, you benefit from everyone.
Yeah. So my next question in this section is, what local advantages or unique characteristics of the Bermudian market did you leverage for your benefit? So what local advantages or unique characteristics of the Bermudian market, environment, whatever word you want to use, did you leverage for your benefit?
So for me, it was more personally who I, got around. But it started from young. I used to just join different programs. to keep myself occupied, but to see how far I can
These
go.
were youth programs that
Yeah,
you're part
so-
of? Because you mind me telling people your age. You're 30 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay. So
31.
you're 31, so you're a
31.
young guy.
And so I joined the Bermuda Cadets with the Regiment Corps when I was in middle school, and they taught me a lot about leadership. Through what I learned from the cadets, helped me to actually win the Outstanding Teen Service Awards.
Wow.
Through leadership, through community service, because the things that we was doing in that program actually got us, to just live everyday life.
Wow, congratulations
as a
on that.
leader.
Yeah.
And just through that alone, networked me to becoming part of PLP. I'm a member of PLP. But it also groomed me to get involved more in the community itself as well.
Right,
Knowing how
right.
I can help out those in need. It was times where I was in commercials showing people. I never forget it. I walked a little lady across the street, and they caught it on video and put it in a commercial.
Did they now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Now
just
that's unique, isn't it?
Yeah, just from me doing things throughout the community to show how we can make Bermuda a better place.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So just me getting involved in a lot of different things from young is what really benefited me locally.
Got it. And you can do that because those things were there and they're accessible because
Yeah.
of the smallness of Bermuda.
Yeah.
So that works to your advantage. I'm going to go to the next section, which is personal. Unless you got something to say, John Lucas, sorry.
I got a question. So you're talking about how, you've capitalized on unique opportunities in Bermuda, right?
Right.
And, I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs out on this side. And as an entrepreneur, there's only so much you could capitalize on because you have what you focus on, like the specialty. But usually entrepreneurs see a lot of opportunity even outside of their focus. So from kind of your vantage point, what are some of the big opportunities you see that entrepreneurs you think should be capitalizing on in Bermuda that they're not?
A lot of advantages that I feel they can capitalize on is community service. That's how you get yourself out there. People to know exactly who you are.
Right.
Because if you're doing things for your community appreciates you back. And that is, one huge advantage that I can see. And also, it shows, like, your personality for somebody who, is not just doing it for a career, not just doing it for
Money.
You're actually doing it for a purpose.
Right.
So a lot of people do appreciate that when you give back to the community, but for a genuine gain.
Right. Exactly.
And I feel like when you give back, people give back to you. Like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And that's where that networking starts. See how it all goes hand in hand?
Yep. It's a full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle. Yeah.
Awesome.
Love it. So our next section is... I'm sorry. Go ahead, John Lucas. Sorry.
No, I was saying that's solid. That's right.
Very much so. So our next section is personal growth and resilience. How do you define success? And how has that definition shaped your experiences in Bermuda?
The way I define success is don't be afraid to fail. Failure is a sign of success because you know what not to do.
Indeed, we talked about that last week.
Exactly what not to do, and you know you're not going to go that route again. So it's all about life lessons. It's all about lessons and what you learn from.
Yeah.
If you're not learning, then that's not successful.
No.
But if you can continue, it don't matter how many times you fail until you get across that last hurdle. Then you know you are successful because you can move on to the next step.
Right. So that's your step. So success is benefit from your failures.
Yeah.
Yes.
Benefit from failures.
Learn from that. Agree, Gianluca?
Yeah. No, I agree. I think also, like, the concept of failure, I don't think failure is like the antagonist to success. Just like how success isn't really like a final destination. Because
Right.
as soon as you succeed at something else, usually right before you've succeeded, you've kind of set a new goal already, right? So I think success and failure are just how people define certain places in the journey, but neither of them define a final resting or arrival place,
Absolutely.
or define who and what you are and what you're pursuing. It's just like, oh, this hurts. Oh, this feels good. Oh, I'm cold. Oh, I'm hot right now. That's how I see success and failure. It's just like these feelings along the way of just living,
And with you saying that, and that's why I like to encourage people too. Even when you do succeed, or you feel like how you say, this feels good. Some people do get comfortable where they're at. But this is why I said earlier, the world is ours.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
there are no limits.
No.
There's no
Yeah.
limits as to what you can do. And that's why that is my biggest quote. It's not that you can't, it's just that you haven't yet.
You haven't yet.
You
Yes.
can do anything.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, and I like to couple that with that we're all on a stage, and the stage is big enough for everybody.
Yep.
So there's not competition, right, John Luca? Just creativity. So you take your place on
Yeah.
that stage and do what you have to do. Yes, love it. Oh, I feel. What you say, Isaiah? They're dropping some jams here, innit? Talking some smack from the words of our intern. Love it, love it. Okay, so next question. Describe the biggest obstacle you faced on your journey, and what did that experience teach you about yourself?
The biggest obstacle, that's a hard question. Because I've had many.
Just talk about one obstacle, I guess. I suppose the biggest.
The biggest obstacle was, I guess, my own mind. So when you become depressed and you feel like things aren't really going your way, sometimes the only thing that's a big thing. When you tell yourself you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. But when you tell yourself that you can't and you're not gonna, push forward for something, your body kind of like takes in,
Responds to that.
yeah, it responds to it. So like I said, the only person to hold you back is yourself. So self-motivation was my biggest downfall. But when I did pick myself up and said, you know what, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm going for, the sky was the limit after that.
How did you take on singing? I'm just interested.
So singing, a lot of people didn't really know that I can sing. We used to have like choirs and different stuff in school, but I always used to sing to myself. My mom used to have me and my sisters singing from a young age. She used to play piano. We used to learn piano, and we'd be singing, watching sister act, practicing.
Yeah.
And so starting from a young age, I always had the ability to sing. And that's the important thing too, starting young. When you start young, you give yourself so much experience time.
Yeah.
And when you get older, it becomes natural.
Yeah.
So when I got a little bit older, I really wanted to see what I can do. But it took my artist, because I used to produce and do music and production. I used to wanted to be in the background. And a lot of my artists used to come to me and say, look, I'm nervous to perform in front of people. I would do it if you do it.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I ended up saying, okay, if I do it, you have to promise me you're going to do it afterwards.
Okay.
I'll show you how easy it is.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
have to do it afterwards.
Sure.
So, and being a Gombe from young, like I was used to performing in front of crowds. The only difference was I was fully covered. So nobody knew who I was.
Okay, yeah,
But
in disguise.
I was used to it. So now I made a promise to my artists and said, okay, I'm going to show you guys how I do it. And then you can go from there. So I started going to karaoke's. I had a big shout out to DJ Archie. He was the first person to really put me on. He used to DJ for females' birthday parties, and he would bring me in as a guest singer.
Right.
Because he's heard me sing before, and serenade the birthday girl.
Oh yeah.
And after a while, people started finding out about me. Nadanja started hosting karaoke, so now anybody that follows Nadanja, they know that wherever he has karaoke, that's where I am.
There is Willis. Got it.
And I really made a name for myself. So people started, booking me for events, different things. And then when my artists started seeing me on social media and doing different stuff, they built up the confidence and said, well, if he could do it,
look at that,
I'm going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, even my sister, she used to be the shyest singer ever. She won the talent show at Barclay from behind the stage. She never came on stage because she was so shy. But now she's getting confidence enough to sing in front of people.
Okay.
And it was all from her, just watching my growth. Starting from nothing and pushing myself to, become
excellent.
Who I am.
Yes. And it just, I think saying that explores more of this obstacle. It's in your mind.
Yeah,
that's where it starts.
It's a mindset.
What you got to say, Gianluca?
No, I think that's key. I think that's key, and it's interesting, because I think there's a lot of wisdom in what you're saying. There's a lot of depth in how you've navigated, and I think more people need to realize that to get this insight and information, you don't have to go far, and.
Right.
Even in my journey, I've learned that. I think for me, I moved a lot. So I always thought growth and change came in change outside. But I would say over the last 2 years, I found that true change, lasting, impactful change happens in stillness. And that stillness is within your mind, So to hear you say the biggest obstacle you had to overcome was your mind, it's kind of a wake-up call for a lot of people, I'm sure. Because people say, my biggest obstacle is I don't have the resources I need. Or my biggest obstacle is I wasn't able to go to college. Or my biggest obstacle is, so-and-so got funded, but, where I'm from, nobody gives us funds. And what you're saying is no. All of that was achievable, right?
Yeah.
But my biggest obstacle was my mind. And that's agnostic to Bermuda. You could be in Bermuda, you could be in Jamaica, you could be in London, you could be in the States. It doesn't matter. You could have the sense of lack or abundance, but that sense all starts in the same place, which is your mind. And I think that's very insightful.
Yeah. We have a lot of young people here. I used to work in an area with young people, and they say, well, my daddy don't care about me, my mom don't care about me. A lot of that is that, the system don't care about me, so why should I care about myself? So I'm just going to go do what I want to do. And usually it's something that's going to get them into a lot of trouble, But what you're saying is that it doesn't matter because you're gifted with what you're gifted with.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, because it doesn't matter about your upbringing or your household. I've seen families that came from nothing, and the person was determined and motivated to make a change for their family. I'm seeing families that have everything, but the person went downhill, but they had everything to the advantage and the avenue.
Yeah.
So it's all about the mindset.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what end of the stick that you're on. I mean, yes, some people have it easier than others. Some people have it harder than others. But it all depends on how much work you're willing to put in with your own circumstance.
Perfect. So, Willis, what are your professional goals for the next 5 years, or goals, period? And how do you see yourself achieving them here in Bermuda?
In the next 5 years, I'd like to see Will Fix It grow a lot, stronger. I would like to see where I could venture out, worldly, globally.
Internationally,
internationally, instead of just her in Bermuda as well. Because like I said, the world is ours.
And this is for your singing career, gumbe career?
This is for everything.
Everything.
Okay. Whether it be Gombe is getting more international jobs, so people really know what our culture represents and how deeply it means to us, or whether it is my singing career or instrumental production career, whether it be my business or like just learning different things, like when it comes to IT technician. You see the world's going into AI or tech, and the world is changing very fast with technology. So
when I hear a young person say that, it's astronomically interesting. Because an older person will say, why things are happening so fast? But when a young person says it, it really is moving fast.
Yeah, it's really moving very fast. I mean, you have places like Japan that have different technology when it comes to the trains, their phone structures, the way how their houses are set up, the way how different businesses conduct business.
Right, yeah.
And, even though a lot of people feel AI may take over people's jobs, but at the same time too, AI benefits people for those who work on those AI jobs. So it's something that it's great to see a lot of the younger schools getting into when it comes to technology, because even though you have kids age 4, 5, 6, 7 who know how to work a tablet. But back then I didn't have that type of technology growing up. So it's nice to see how fast they developed as well. Growing into the society that we're in. But it can be pros and cons.
Yeah, sure.
The thing is, which side are you on when it comes to the pros and cons? And that is my biggest strive. Because one of my preferred goals was to become into cybersecurity.
Wow.
Because I was actually before I left Barclay. I know your intern here could tell you about it.
Okay.
They have a parent portal where parents can go online and see your grades and everything.
Right.
I was a student who was asked to see if I could hack that system, because they was just getting it online to see, what was vulnerable for them and what fixtures they can make, so that way students would be able to change their grades and different stuff like that.
Right.
I was one of these students on the other end, and from that point on is when I knew I really wanted to get into cybersecurity, because
don't tell me you hacked into it.
Oh, I did. Oh, I did.
You didn't hear that, as I.
and from then, that's also when I learned where anything that can be, programmed to upgrade it's for the world to play with.
It's accessible.
Yeah, it's accessible to anybody. And I really also got the motivation. I never told this to her yet, but it was from my sister. She went to DeVry University, which is located in Florida.
Right.
And that is a school part of NASA.
Okay.
So she was getting technology that before it actually came out into the world, she was actually playing with it.
What's your sister's name?
Her name is Catherine Steed.
Okay, shout out to Catherine.
Yeah, big shout out to my sister. But also my mom. My mom used to go to the Barclay Institute as well, and she was one of the first students that was able to work on the first computer that was introduced to Bermuda.
Okay.
So
it's in your genes.
It's in my genes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when it comes to technology, she introduced us to it young as well. Like I said, computers weren't really a thing when I was in preschool.
Right.
But primary school, I already had the advantage.
You sure did.
So a lot of times, that's why I excelled a lot of my classmates. I was always on high honors when it came to computers, math, science, because I was practicing online.
Wow. So you had that advantage. You definitely had that advantage. Okay, cybersecurity. Make sure we got all my phones and everything. No. So thank you, Gianluca. You got anything to contribute, please?
But no, I would say cybersecurity is it's a very large market, and it's an industry that's growing exponentially. From a global perspective. I know a few guys that work in that space. Even one of my coworkers had a client that was in cybersecurity, and the industry made him a billionaire. You know, he developed some technology in there. He sold it, kept some shares in it, and it's become like a staple framework in a lot of industries. So I think that's it's a great business to be in. And you look at Bermuda, and you know Bermuda has been really big in insurance and reinsurance, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a big push in digital currency, right? And tokenization, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm wondering, like, with all of that, if tokens and digital currency is very much attached to AI and blockchain, then there's a natural synergy between that and cybersecurity. You know, and with what Willis is talking about, maybe that is a massive opportunity for Bermuda. Bermuda's attracting a lot of digital currency companies that are naturally going to attract AI companies, and Bermuda starts having its own, you know, proprietary, locally based cybersecurity companies that provide services to those companies that were building an industry. You know, you're seeing a huge market open up.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on, since you brought it up as well, because there are companies who are trying to, you know, broaden the horizon for cybersecurity, because we barely have many, you know, cybersecurity, you know, experts on island. Sometimes they have to, you know, bring people from overseas. But one thing that really stood out to me was, because if you look at recent, there's been a lot of cyber attacks to the elderly. Those that don't really know about, you know, technology because they weren't around in their day. So a lot of times they get like different ads or scams from other countries, and they fall for it. You know, so I know I used to talk to the Bermuda Monetary Authority and their team, and you know, they wanted to like hold classes for, you know, the elderly that maybe are most vulnerable when it comes to technology, because a lot of them, they, you know, they like to shy away from technology because, you know, it's not what they're used to, and you know, it's not what they really want to deal with. They would rather just have the phone just to, you know, either call
somebody, and
that's it.
Yep.
But they are very, you know, keen to being vulnerable when it comes to somebody saying that they won this, or, you know, your information has been
hacked.
Yeah, your information has been hacked, so we need you to give us certain information. But when you give that information, you're actually giving them the information that they need to, you know, take advantage of you. And I feel like that is a growing concern, you know, in Bermuda. So that's another reason why I kind of want to get, you know, deep into it, because we have a lot of vulnerable people out there who's been going through this daily, you know, when it comes to different issues with technology. So it's something to look at for a lot of different companies to, you know, for us to get a hand over it. And I know that it's an avenue that for young people growing up that want to be into the same career path, it's something for you to look into.
Absolutely. So thank you very much. Cybersecurity, indeed, not just elderly people. It could be some younger people too.
Young people too, yeah. Because like I said, you have people in primary school, middle school, that they have access to technology, and their brains haven't really been developed enough to.
They're not mature.
Yeah, they're not mature enough to understand the difference. So
looking out for the community, Willis. I like it. So now we're going to go to community and legacy, I think is what it is. How have you found ways to contribute to the Bermudian community that go beyond what you do professionally? So
the way how I contribute to the community, I try to be a mentor to. I start with my Gombe group first. Those guys mean a lot to me, especially because if you see with recent violence in Bermuda, a lot of young men are getting caught up in the street life. And I try to use my platform with Gombe's to teach them a different side of life, keep them out of different trouble, you know, just to be that mentor, and a lot of my elders feel the same. We try to be there for them and give that, it takes a village to raise a child.
Sure.
Background.
Yeah.
A lot of my kids, we have a lot of single mother households, where a lot of my kids only have single mothers, single fathers, because it's not just the mothers.
Nope,
you do have fathers as well.
Yes, indeed.
And that's me trying to do my part to try limit and reduce violence in Bermuda. But then also, teaching them on how to be a stand-up citizen, a civilian.
Yes.
And they can also teach their friends that you don't have to be in the crowd.
No.
You can be your own individual and lead them on how they should be.
Indeed. It's interesting. Like I said, when I was looking to do some research about Gombeys, I realized that the Gombeys actually have a code. There's a way that they sort of see themselves, that, they're warriors. That means they fight for themselves, they fight for the community. And I didn't understand all that. And I think it's a very good thing that we have more young people involved in things like Gombeys. So we're a warrior type. You stand up for yourself, you stand up for your family, and you stand up for your community.
But I could go even more in depth with it. So if you look at the head structure,
right,
the first part of the head is actually a crown.
Yes, okay.
We also wear capes. But that's because we, as humans, are kings and queens on this earth. We are the rulers.
Sure.
It's us.
We have dominion.
Yes. So with that, that's why we also put peacock feathers in the heads.
Okay.
Because the peacock is the proudest bird.
Oh yeah.
So we have pride in who we are. We are kings and queens. So that's why we have this big ego, or people would say ego, but we have pride in what we do, because this is our life. This is who we are as people.
Yeah.
We are the kings and queens that rule this earth. That's why people could take dogs or any animal, and we can train them to how we want them to be.
Yeah,
because we are the rulers of the earth.
Yeah.
The animals don't tell us what to do.
Oh no. They're subject to us.
Right. So we are the kings and queens, and that's also why we wear mirrors. A lot of people say we wear mirrors on our suits to reflect evil spirits, which they are correct.
Yeah.
But the true meaning for the mirror is because when you look in the mirror, what do you see?
Yourself.
You see yourself. So when you look at the Gombe, that's who you are.
So when I look at the Gombe,
you are seeing your self-reflection.
I am you and you are me.
You are king, you are queen.
Got it. Wow. Gianluca, any words on that?
No, I think you hit it on the head.
I agree. Most definitely.
You know what I would say though, right? I think from my perspective, I wish in school we were taught more about these sort of meanings within our culture, because I think I've learned more about Gombeys as an adult doing research on my own than when I was in Bermuda actively. Like you go to harbor nights and you see the Gombeys. And oh yeah, you like the Gombeys. But we're not taught in school, the history of it, what it means, what it represents, the pride that comes behind it. Unless you're actively engaged and you're dancing Gombeys, that's one thing, but not everybody's going to do that. So I feel like a part of that identity, even for Willis, I would probably argue that a lot of your confidence and your identity and your strong culture for Bermuda was probably heavily supported by your dad,
Yeah, it was.
With him bringing you into these extremely Bermuda-centered cultural activities and showing you what your community and heritage identity looks like, which kind of said, yeah, I'm gonna take ownership of this island because I know the historical richness that gives me my sense of heritage identity of where I'm from. And I think for young Bermudian men and women who don't have that coming from their parents, you wonder where do they get it from? And sometimes they don't get it at all. Because if it's not coming from home, I mean, we learn about like French Revolution and English Industrial Revolution, and we don't know what a Gombe means. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you are absolutely right. Cause yeah, my dad was my biggest mentor when it came to my confidence, my pride, my ego. When it came to learning the history of Gambias, he would be by my side. Even my mom, and I would say, yeah, you are absolutely right, man. You don't have that structure at home to actually, pass things down to you as well. If you don't know, you just don't know.
No.
But I had that, opportunity to get it straight from him. But I can't answer why a lot of times we don't have the Gombe history taught within school. I would love to see them, teach the basics. But this is kind of what, when I was in the Carafesta, that we touched base on as well. Even when I performed in 2003 at the White House for the vice president at the time, there was something called the Smithsonian. And we ended up getting Gombe's copywritten and put in that museum just across the street from the White House. But the true reason why, and a lot of coaches feel the same way, especially what I learned through the Carafest. The reason why a lot of coaches don't really share their broad history of their coaches, because your coach can be stolen. There are a lot of people that want to have your identity, or want to have, that extra meaning as to why you do what you do. Because in past like history can repeat itself, right? And that's why it's important to know history. But also, history can be dismantled if it's in the wrong hands, if other people try to steal your identity and make it seem like you weren't the originals,
right?
Or this weren't your identity. It's like what the Indians go through with in America. It's like the reason why people don't understand the pyramids. It's what people don't understand about Bermuda Gombe is, it's not a regular culture. It is a sacred culture. So that's why a lot of times, a lot of the deep history is kept within the groups. Because believe it or not, Gombeas was actually a means of survival for Bermudians, which is why it's a sacred culture.
Right, yeah. There's a lot of depth into it.
It goes very deep.
Yeah. And so in order to even protect it now, certain things still need to stay within the confines. Yeah. It's amazing. Wow. Last question, because we only have a couple of minutes left.
Sure.
What do you hope your legacy will be within the professionally and community-wise within Bermuda?
My legacy, I hope, and this is my biggest dream, and I tell everybody this, I just hope to see the world come together and we finally live together in peace. That's it.
The world. What about Bermuda? Bermuda's a part of that world.
Yeah, Bermuda's a part of that world. But that's why it's such a big dream. I really want us to, because we all have to live in this world together. We all have to survive together.
Indeed.
So I really want us to be able to come to a point where, and those that, are very spiritual, because a lot of people don't know, but spirituality and history go hand in hand. Right?
Okay.
And for me, my belief is, a lot of things that they say is, what happens in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. Before there was a time of peace.
Yeah.
There was a time where if you didn't have, I helped you.
Sure.
If you had, you helped me. And it weren't greed.
No. Yeah.
And that is what my biggest role is, to get back to having that genuine connection between everyone. Where everyone can have that genuine mindset to where we can all come together and have peace. That's it.
I love that vision. Absolutely love that vision. Wow. Gianluca, any last words?
No, I just want to say, Willis, you're a very wise and insightful guy. I look forward to meeting you in person when I'm back on the island. I think Bermuda's blessed to have individuals like you committed to being on island and being so integrated into a culture and showing that like there are oil mines on Bermuda too. You don't have to leave the island to strike oil, So yeah, I just want to commend you, man. I've been inspired. I've learned things about Bermuda through learning about you, and I think you already know this, but like you have a bright present and a bright future, man. So I pray that trajectory continues growing and that not only leaving a legacy, but you get to witness aspects of your legacy come to life while you're still actively building,
Perfect.
So,
Perfect. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. That really does mean a lot.
Yeah. Great. Good stuff. Well, I and Azai have been, I'm sure, really kind of blessed by all of this. And thank you, Willis, for being a guest, for being a young Bermudian man, your awesome insights and your willingness to share your journey from and to your ultimate goals. I know Bermuda and the beautiful people of It's Been Said are fortunate to know the legacy of your father that is being passed on to the son for the betterment of the community, yea, the world.
And thank you for having me.
Love it. So beautiful people, we open up the telephone lines right now at 297-1027. If you got any thoughts or questions, I want you to go ahead and call now. I want to thank you, Gianluca, for being the coolest co-host on Perspective and Perception. And before we leave, Gianluca, tell us a little bit about our guest next week, if you can, and what's happening.
Oh, sure. So next week is very exciting. We have a good friend of mine, Trendy Chef. He's a celebrity chef. He's been on the Food Network multiple times, been in a TV show there. He's cooked for some of your favorite celebrities like Justin Bieber, to Jay Leno, to Steve Harvey, to everybody else. He's a serial entrepreneur, but most of all, he's going to be in Bermuda soon too. So he's going to be on the show next week to share his story, to let you know some of the plans he has coming to Bermuda for 2 weeks of magic in collaboration with Magic, of course, and my company, Sydney Palmer. And it's just exciting, man. Like, and to be honest, it's going to be impactful because, we got entrepreneurs like Willis already on the island. And then in December, we got a few other ones coming from international to collaborate on the soil. And it's just the start of a partnership that's going to go beyond next year and the year beyond that. And I think this interview with Trendy Chef is just kind of a pebble in the water that's going to start a rippling effect that's going to show the true magnitude of what Bermuda can do both on the local and international stage. So I'm excited.
Okay, wow. So thank you. So thank you, Gianluca. We're going to have Trendy Chef, another entrepreneur like Mr. Willis Steed here, an international one. And I can't wait for that. And thanks for being on the show, Gianluca, because the next time you're here on the show, you actually be in the studio. Woohoo! Yes, I. So thank you, beautiful people, for listening in to It's Been Said. Everyone is born into their once upon a lifetime story, and we live to experience our happily ever after. What about you? Willis has. If you have a story that you believe is uplifting, please send me an email at coolcat, KOOLKAT00 @hotmail.com, and we will get in contact with you. Thank you for listening in, and you can now follow us on Facebook on It's Been Said with Cat Wade and on Instagram with It's Been Said with Cat Wade. As we've said, next week is going to be just as special because we meet together every week to hear everyday stories of ordinary people who have overcome challenges, finding ways to cope and to live extraordinary lives. Because as we say, a negative mind will never give you a positive life. So until next time, stay positive. Yeah.
Bermuda Live on YouTube. Subscribe now.